How down bad do you have to be to get paid $1,400 to blow up someone's business? $1,400. Like, what? Bro, you could make that working at McDonald's in 2 weeks. Why would you blow up someone's business and ruin your life for $1,400? The owner of the Turkey Leg Hut is a true criminal. That man ain't getting out of jail, bro. Not only did you pay someone to blow up your rival's establishment, you was also selling packs out of Turkey Leg Hut. That's crazy. Selling packs out of your restaurant when weed ain't even legal in Texas is insane. Like, the drug charges you about to get on top of the arson charges and damage charges, bro, that nigga ain't seeing the light of day. And the YN who threw his life away for $1,400, I have no words. The downfall of Turkey Leg Hut is crazy. I know the documentary is finna be stupid.
Federal prosecutors say the turkeys have come home to roost. They say for years, Lynn Price has tried to keep his hands clean of crimes, paying off others to do the dirty work. This morning, an FBI agent testified that Price paid $1,400 to have his ex-business partner's bar 5015 blown up nearly 5 years ago. You've likely seen the surveillance video by now showing masked men pouring gas all over the patio before the fire in June of 2020 that then caused an explosion and destroyed that building. Lynn Price is the accused mastermind behind it that paid others to carry it out. The why, according to federal investigators, because the bar owner allegedly told the FBI agents he initially planned to bring Lynn Price into that business, but then decided not to. When Bar 5015 started selling crawfish from the Turkey Leg Hut supplier, the 5015 owner told investigators that Lynn Price called. He was screaming, he was hollering, and this whole plan came to light after a co-defendant, John Lee Price, who is not related, got arrested on federal drug trafficking charges in Mississippi. Lee Price allegedly confessed to starting that fire and told federal agents about others' roles in that scheme. And then investigators found phone records that showed him talking with Lynn Price around the explosion. Lee Price allegedly told investigators about other criminal activity at the once popular restaurant. He would bring truckloads of hydro marijuana from California, he told them, which then got sold at the restaurant in custom branded packaging.
Now, when it comes to this Turkey Leg Hut situation, nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud. Everybody is talking about the thing that he has already been arrested for. But they are forgetting the fact that last year, the Turkey Leg Hut mysteriously caught on fire after he got fired mid-divorce. I'm not a criminal investigator. I'm just a girl with a brain. Innocent until proven guilty, yes. But per his record and what is currently happening, and even back then I thought it was a little fishy. He did that. He did that. And I promise y'all, in the near future, he's going to be reprimanded for trying to burn that business down. I know I'm not crazy. I cannot be the only one who thought this back then. I cannot be the only one who thought this. It was too much going on for that building to just randomly go up in flames. Lynn, it's never that serious. It's never that serious, Lynn. It's never that serious.
Whoever put that bad juju on the Turkey Leg Hut man, girl, that bad juju has been grabbing him by the back of his neck like a fucking pit bull, okay? The FBI is allegedly saying that that man paid somebody back in 2020 to burn down his competitor's restaurant, or like his former partner's restaurant, something like that. It's called 5015, okay? That's the name of the restaurant. They're saying that he allegedly paid somebody to do that back in 2020, and now the FBI is saying allegedly he was selling the devil's lettuce all up and through the Turkey Leg Hut and also his other restaurant called the Daiquiri Hut. Child, they're saying that allegedly he paid some men like $1,400 to go burn his former partner's restaurant down to the ground. Not only that, one of the men told and said that allegedly Price would pay them to move the devil's lettuce from California to Houston so that way he can sell it with the logo of the Turkey Leg Hut on a damn bag while he's selling the fucking devil's lettuce. Now, he also saying that it was like 1,000 pounds of the devil's lettuce up in in there and it was protected by guards 24/7. They don't have no concrete evidence because they said that he liked to keep his hands clean. But if the FBI is involved, bitch is bad. Maybe he shouldn't have been mean to us. This wouldn't be happening to him.
Very popular Houston, Texas restaurant, the Turkey Leg Hut, is shaking. Turkey Leg Hut is a restaurant owned by Nakia Holmes and her husband, Lyndell. Well, it's now her ex-husband, as she fired him from the company and gave him divorce papers today. There's a lot to this story. Let's talk about it. Now, I've never been to the Turkey Leg Hut, but I've heard a lot about it. Now, this couple started this restaurant in 2015. They started it together. Popular black restaurant. I've heard hit or miss about the food. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's salty. But they very popularly went viral for their dress code list. It was a very heavy dress code. It was very anti-black. They were in trouble for that. But ever since then, I've heard other drama. But the drama that's going on now is huge. So right now, they're not paying their people. They have not paid their people allegedly up to 6 weeks. They're firing people from the company that they have not paid. And they say it all goes back to the husband, Lyndell. On the Tough podcast on YouTube, they gave a breakdown 2 months ago. Amazing. Explained what's going on. They brought up the paperwork. This man was on camera basically speaking like a sociopath, saying that he has no real emotion. He doesn't care about anything. Women are emotional. Talking to the camera, really erratic. You could tell this guy's definitely ticky boom, narcissist, delusion of grandeur vibe is what he gave me. Well, in the filings that they presented, these being some of the filings right here, the wife said that not only does he abuse the family members, the husband comes in and abuses some of the people that work there. She said that he comes into the restaurant, goes in the cash register, takes out cash, spends it on women, beats them when they ask about it. I mean, just a real terror is what they make this guy out to be. And the lawsuit is extensive. She got a restraining order against him, and this was all months ago. She said that the staff and her are frightened, and they said that he's out of control. He does not care. They're scared for their lives. I want to say allegedly because that's a heavy thing to say about somebody, but this man's in some big trouble. They took him out of his half-owned restaurant today in handcuffs. And that's another thing they brought up in the reporting. His name is not on a lot of stuff. Because of him having prior convictions and just not being able to get certain licenses, mostly everything is in her name. So he really bit the hand that feeded him in this situation. He probably supplied it with some other type of money, but none of his name is on the paperwork. And if your name on the paperwork, you get put out. And that's exactly what she's doing to him. But she's saying that she's just because he's mishandling money now. People are saying they're still coming to work. They're falling behind on bills. And this is a time of inflation. Ain't nobody got time for that. Can't nobody afford to be playing with you down to the job not getting paid. And let me tell y'all something right now. These jobs in America, they tell y'all we're family. We work together. And then stuff like this happens. And you see whose rent and light and water gets paid and whose does not. You're not family members to these companies unless your face is on the flyer, unless you're actually in the family. And people are now risking their lives. The day she wouldn't have given me my check, I would have had a new job. I would have been like, pay me my check when I can. I already see this is going up the creek fast without a paddle. I'm getting out of here. The reports on Fox are showing that people are not even really showing up there patronizing it like that. Probably because they have some whole new crazy Keith Lee laid out rules where you got to order because they don't have any staff. And when you don't have any staff, you got to change up a lot of stuff. I don't know who to blame. They're saying that the lady is just as sociopathic as the man, but they're saying that he's the abuser. She's not innocent. He's not innocent, but this is a family business, and it makes me sad. I want to see these people make it. I want to see all black people make it. I'm literally rooting for anybody black, okay? That is me. But in this situation, it's just looking like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Oh, now we got some Houston tea. Okay, y'all remember the turkey leg man is now the oyster man. He is going to jail. Allegedly, he is the one who hired the people to set 5015 on fire. Now, why did he do that? 5015, popular spot in Houston on Alameda. We knew in 2020 it was set on fire. They had footage. It was given the owners set it on fire for insurance money. This is Steve, co-owner of 5015. And the plot thickens. It says Price, the turkey leg man, plotted to set fire to Bar 5015, which is owned by another former co-owner of Turkey Leg Hut and who is Price's former business partner, Steve. So you some people, was it beef between them? Like, why would he sabotage the man's business? That's crazy to me. Why would he do that? And then he been shiesty, because then the ex-wife boot his ass up out of Turkey Leg before Turkey Leg closed. So he moved on from Turkey Leg. Now he got the Oyster Hut, which I've seen, have not tried. Business seems to be on the up and up at Oyster Hut. I just saw him on my timeline drunk last week.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Hell yeah, I'm feeling good. But I want to say thank you to all the support, to everybody that supported me, even to the haters. Y'all still come out and I support y'all. I love y'all.
Shit was all good just a week ago, but it looks like his past dealings have caught up with him again.
Okay, y'all, let's take a deep dive in the turkey leg man, Mr. Lyndell Leroy Price. Why on earth would he pay some people to go bomb up Bar 5015? At the time of the bombing of 5015, Steve Rogers, 5015's owner, was a minority owner in Turkey Leg. Now, Houstonians, some of y'all may have already known this, but me and my homegirls, we did not know. This is very much piping hot tea for me, all right? Coffee is cold, though. Now, it was widely reported that Lynn was crying when he was apprehended by police. The man crying because he don't want to go back to jail, y'all. He already been in jail. 2016, Lynn pled guilty to fraud, IRS fraud. And in 2010, Lynn and his homeboys were stealing identities, opening up little debit cards, filing taxes, getting those tax refunds deposited onto those debit cards. They did this for 3 tax seasons. The feds noticed some irregularities, started building their case. Lynn was sentenced to 48 months in federal prison. He turned himself in on December 31st, 2016. It was not released until October of 2018. Now, 2016 is the beginning of Turkey Leg. Nakia Holmes and Lynn got Turkey Leg off the ground at the 2016 Houston Rodeo. The rodeo lasted about 30 days. Business was booming. Off to the races. April, they said, we are ready for brick and mortar. Let's go. The first Turkey Leg Hut location opens. 2 months later is when Lynn pleads guilty. A few months after that is when he goes to jail. So Turkey Leg is just getting up off the ground. It takes a lot of money to open up a restaurant, so they had investors. One of their initial investors is once again Bar 5015's owner, Steve Rogers. Now, how much he invested is up for debate. Nakia says the initial investment was $30,000. Ran into some issues at the first location, so they have to move. August 2017 is when they arrive at 4830 Alameda. Whole time Lynn is in jail, his name is not on nothing. Okay, so Nakia's running this. Steven is helping her out get the new location. He says putting up more money, and now they good. Now, business is business, all right? Lynn is released from prison in 2018. So he jumps right back in, wants his hands on everything, wants to run shit, right? Now, there are growing tensions between them and Rogers. Because apparently Lynn and Nakia want to handle everything. They don't want to be bothered with Rogers anymore. In May of 2020, they proposed a buyout to Steven Rogers. Steven is like, y'all into it a little bit too deep with me. You owe me a little bit too much money for me to simply accept a buyout. We got to figure this out. They beefed out. Lynn says Steven came and stole a POS system worth 27 bands and installed it at Bar 5015. Shortly thereafter is when Bar 5015 exploded. The motive appears to be retaliation. We don't have to say allegedly he blew it up because they got all the text messages, y'all. He blew the shit up. So Steven say, okay, one monkey don't stop my show. I'm finna rebuild my shit and you owe me some money. Drops a lawsuit on Nakia and Lynn. This is interesting. His initial interest was 15%. He says Nakia had him buy out other partners, and that way his interest rose up to 29%. Nakia say, no, it wasn't that much. It's just 18.75% of Turkey Leg. Now, 2020 is also COVID-19 time. Nakia and Lynn are experiencing some financial strain during this time. They ask for some more money from the investors. Now, Steven says you doing side hustles, and it's them side missions that's causing the strain. Steven say, I caught on turkey leg. You using turkey leg supplies, kitchen, staff to make the food for this food truck. You can have your side mission, but you can't be using my money to make money, and then I don't get a portion of that money. So restraining order was filed. And to it real bad. Finally, they come to a buyout agreement. Nakia says they paid Steven $865,000 to buy him out of turkey leg. This is a pretty big fight. Lynn and Nakia also filed countersuits. They was going at it. All type of allegations. But they do come to an agreement. After this agreement, Steven was not done. He files another suit the following year for $931,000. He said, actually, we agreed on $1.5 million following my withdrawal from ownership. Say y'all paid me for a couple months and then stopped paying me, and I want my money. This is a lie. So now I'm understanding the demise of turkey leg. So lawsuits with Steven, and they not paying their vendors. Apparently they not paying their rent. They owing some of everybody, including the IRS, unpaid taxes. So not only are they having financial issues, they are having mounting marital issues. November of 2023, he says, I am done with your ass. Get out. She alleges abuse, manipulation. She says from the time we wake up until we go to sleep, every moment is a fight for peace and sanity. And they say Lynn was fucking on somebody who works at Turkey Leg. He's still working at Turkey Leg. But now as we breaking up, you fucking on staff members, you got to go. Nakia fires Lynn February 2024. Initially posted an email about him being fired, but then like a month later, he's like, how can I be fired? My name's still on there. I still co-own this. But what does Lynn do? He starts the oyster hut in Turkey Leg's parking lot. Extremely petty. Nakia has to get a restraining order to get his ass up out their parking lot. He has to go and find his own brick and mortar spot for the oyster hut, which he did. Now Nakia is faced with these mountains of bills that she feels like her estranged husband caused. So, March 2024, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Business continues to operate, but it just did not end up working out. Gets worse and worse, and then in November, they have to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and that allows the people who are owed to repossess the properties, shut all that shit down, and try and recoup some of their funds. Ooh, Turkey Leg had a lot going on. But now we got the full picture. Lynn is currently still in custody, at least until his detention hearing, before he goes back to jail again, because he's going to go to prison for this. If you made it this far, thank you for staying. Be sure to drop them comments below, hit that like, follow button, and repost that thing, y'all. Okay, love you, bye.
The Turkey Leg Hut. I know y'all know that Nakia, okay? So this is her husband. They're actually still going through a divorce. Nakia actually put out that, you know, amongst the Turkey Leg Hut being one of the most popular restaurants in Houston, so popular I couldn't even get in. I was hoping to try Turkey Leg before, you know, she closed down, but the government said no. Bankruptcy court said no, they are liquidating it. And I was just hoping that they would just liquidate just a few turkey legs that I could just try. Hell, I may even want to invest. But they said she wasn't giving the investors their money back because she had borrowed a lot of money from a lot of people and soon-to-be ex-husband. And I know she started this business herself. I do know that. I do know that he was in jail. And then when he got out of jail, and I don't know why she took a man out of jail, knowing that man. And this is what she's told me, and I'm going to say allegedly, okay? I ain't seen no police reports. I have seen pictures. Her team, her PR team has sent me pictures and things like that. Here's what I'm going to say. Nakia finds this man in jail and then gives him half of her business. In return, he gives her black eyes, allegedly. Side holes, allegedly. Abuse, allegedly. All types of things. And I'm like, is that not what you get when you pick somebody up out the prison? Like, what are they in prison for? I just don't understand why successful women would just reach down out the garbage. And I'm not saying every person that goes to prison. I would say 90% not. There's a few 10% that don't belong there. But every person that goes to prison, and then you're successful, you're up here, and then you're reaching down out the trash to come give somebody something that you worked for, and then he ends up taking it from you or making you lose it. And then you're saying that the man is beating on you. He doing all of this. And to me, I'm not saying that you're asking for it, but it's like, what did you expect?
So by this point, we've all heard about the tea with the turkey leg hut dude, and I'm just surprised that it took them so long to arrest his ass, okay? Because not only did he blow up 5015, and he did a very lousy job of covering up the evidence, then, you know, there was all the information about him and being abusive to his wife, and then around that same time, when all that information came out, the turkey leg hut went up in flames. I knew that was his ass. He did that too. He's an arsonist. I can't believe it. I mean, I can't believe it, but he reminded me of the dude from Sweetie Pie, the son from Sweetie Pie. Remember the son from Sweetie Pie? Is how he had got out of prison, and he got the restaurant popping for his mama. They opened up all them locations, and then it came out that he was crazy because he was dating Jennifer, and he was crazy. And then, what did he do to get back in jail? I think that he had his cousin killed or something over something small. These restaurants and the tea that be going on in these restaurants, and it's always like the big mega restaurants that everybody know and everybody go to, you know, the TV shows, you know, all that stuff. Like, it'd be a lot of crime.
Houston's very own boss hog of turkey legs, a.k.a. Lynn Price, is stuck in a federal prison until his trial for arson. A federal judge just denied his bond. Prosecutors say Lynn ran Houston like it was his personal empire. Forget the turkey legs for a second. The feds say he was moving hydro marijuana out the back of Turkey Leg Hut. And not just any smoke. This stuff had Turkey Leg Hut branding on it, and Lynn was bold enough to flex it on Instagram. Like marijuana is legal in Texas. They say he was shipping in 500 to 1,000 pounds from Cali and storing it behind the restaurant with 24-hour security, like it was Fort Knox. And one of his guys even admitted he was stealing cars for Lynn, fixing them up into old-school candy, painted slabs, a.k.a. cars, because when you think you're boss hog of Houston, that's just what you do. But now Judge Dina Palermo says the evidence is overwhelming. Lynn was allegedly committing crimes while on supervised release and had pew-pews in his house when he knew he wasn't supposed to have any as a convicted felon, including one with the Turkey Leg Hut logo engraved on it. The judge said this was all revenge for being iced out of a business deal, and that, with all his money and power, she's declared Lynn a major flight risk. So yeah, the boss hog thought he ran the city, but now he's sitting down until the feds say otherwise.
Turkey legs didn't pay for him, baby. Not at all. So it's kind of hard for everybody. And what's going on with this lawsuit? The proof will come out, just like came out with the wood, the smoke, and all that. You know, as a culture, we are crap, so we run with it. And the thing is, they can't fathom how a black couple has done what we've done. So anything that, as they say, catch bait, all that clickbait, all that mess, they run with it. Because they can't stand it. They can't stand it. COVID. Man, they booming. Holidays. Boom, they booming. They overpriced. No, that's for the broke people. We're overpriced. But as soon as y'all get y'all income tax, same people online telling we broke. They run right up in there. So, you know, you have to be able to decipher through what the hate is, what's going on. Like I said, baby, once you done deal with them feds and you deal with that state, man, it's legit. Especially when you know you ain't done nothing wrong. So understand this. There's nothing out there that can say, oh, they've done this, they've done this. Man, we had a hell of a run. A hell of a run. It's still running. Still running tough. So we running tough. Still. Till this day. We running tough, man. Understand we have a brand that's worldwide. I can go to Africa and open up in the gas station and still rock. When you have a brand that's strong, let me tell you something about it. I don't give a what you got going on. We have a brand that's known worldwide. I can open up I can do a 6-month run. 6-month run in every state and still make a bankroll. How many of your brands can do that? We have a brand that's strong.
Hey everybody, good old buddy Dr. Matthews here. We just getting out for the hearing with Lynn Price, who's used to be the former co-owner of Turkey Leg Hut and also owner of Oyster Hut. It was a lot of things that was being said in this hearing. You had the federal prosecution was making claims in regards to drugs being sold out of the Turkey Leg Hut. Was saying weed was being sold. So they were saying that the person who snitched was telling all of this. And then also they saying that he's currently under a DPS investigation for fraud, for identity theft, and stolen vehicles. They also, they had all this stuff. They even had the FBI agent that came over there and was saying this stuff. The FBI agent have been watching him for the longest, but they never could get anything. And so once the guy that was was one of the snitches, he got caught with how many kilos?
12.
12 kilos of fentanyl. How many pills? 50,000? 50,000 pills. And so, of course, the feds went to him when he got caught in Mississippi. And that's when he started telling everything. So, and another thing I noticed, we didn't see no celebrities. We didn't see no politicians. We didn't see none of the people in there. We just seen that boy family.
And the insurance man.
And the executive insurance guy that was in there that was speaking on his behalf about what he does in the community. So let me just say this, y'all. Y'all got to be careful who you call your friends. And then you got to be careful with anything you do, because at the end of the day, we don't know if he's going to get a bond yet. Because one, the judge ended by saying that she has to chew on it. So they'll know something this evening. So with that being said, what really got me was that the federal prosecutor made this statement. The federal prosecutor said about all the stuff that he supposedly, all these allegations that he's supposed to have done, he turned around and ended it by saying the turkey legs have come home to roost. I was out of there. You could have bought me for 2 pennies. I was done. So we just gonna stand by and see what's going on, man. Cause this is sad. That's all I can say. But he got some good lawyers, so we'll see how this can pan out. Y'all pray for his family, y'all. This is messed up. All right.